You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
Go for it, Jim. Climb the ladder, kid. Make yourself famous.
A podcast covering all things WWE.
I have now returned to save the WWE.
NXT.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
And AEW.
Holy wrestling. I couldn't be more happy.
Here are your hosts, Kyle Gagliardi and Jim Tucker.
What is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I am your host, Kyle Gagliardi, and I am joined always by my good friend, Jim Tucker, a.k.a. Tucky Two Belts. What's going on, Tucky?
What's going on, Kyle?
Early recording this Thursday afternoon?
It's still afternoon, early evening. The sun is still out. Weird.
It's weird. Usually it's very dark when we're recording this.
Yeah.
I was not so there was a knock at my door around 3:30, and that's about when I got off of work. So literally just got home, almost turned on the crock pot. That's another story. I was making chili today, and I prepped everything, put it in the crock pot, and then I go to stir it, Tuck. What happened?
Cold. Just cold.
I go, Tuck, it might help if this thing's plugged in.
Yeah.
So I just plugged in the chili, just got home from work, and then you show up my door, and I thought it was the mailman, honestly.
Yeah, I got to sneak in. Two guys were moving an oven.
Oh, yeah, that's another. Wait, where was the oven going?
Into a truck.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Could you imagine trying to take this oven down 3 stories from my place?
They were coming up.
That sounds harder. Climbing and going up.
They had a good dolly.
Oh, they had a dolly.
They had a good dolly. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it was kind of a pain moving. So I live on the 3rd story of a condo complex. If you don't know, anyone listening, and moving in some of like that sectional over there.
Kind of a bitch.
It wasn't great, but most of the stuff, it actually wasn't that bad. But yeah, other than that, what you been up to, man?
Living the dream. Life is good. Down with the first quarter in the school year. 45 days. Well, 46 completed now. Life is good.
How's the COVID situation going on there? Is there any breakouts or any cases that are?
Couts has been actually doing pretty well. We've had, there was one case and a classroom was contact traced in like 1st or 2nd in the elementary school somewhere, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Nothing in the middle high school. So
that's pretty good.
We've had individual kids get tested, be out. And
have you even been tested? Did you have to get tested for your?
I don't think they want me to get tested, man.
Really?
If I end up getting tested,
well, then you're out for a couple weeks.
We're clapping a bunch of people, yeah. And then, like, if I'm out and about and I'm feeling spooky or whatever, if I get it and we cannot directly trace it back to the school, I only get 80% pay for 2 weeks.
Oh, that's not good.
So
gotta pay the bills.
Very little motivation for me to actually get tested.
There was a guy that was in that worked directly with me that I was probably in close contact with that tested positive about 2 months ago, like kind of in the middle of all this. And our work literally just sent us an email. I'm not going to say where I work because it's kind of putting them on blast. But they virtually said, we're not forcing you to go, but if you feel like you might have it or you have any symptoms to go get tested.
Yeah.
I didn't get tested because I felt fine,
Yep.
Just a tough situation.
It is. It's funky.
And
we're making it through it.
Yeah, are we, though?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, that's fair. I was going to say, well, we still can't go to wrestling events unless
we have, though.
They were fun.
Yeah.
And from what we know, none of our events that we went to, there was any breakout.
I think we've been pretty good, yeah.
I think Bloodsport, was it this weekend, though, had a couple cases. I don't know if you checked Twitter and all that, but
yeah, I was. But
a lot of guys were getting tested. I know Dan the Dad, for example, even put on Twitter.
Son of a gun.
He said he's done for the rest of the year now.
He's got kids.
That's true.
Like
Heath Slater.
Poor guy, yeah.
So before we get into the main topics today, there's only 2 topics. We're going to talk about the WWE draft, and then we have a hypothetical interpromotional pay-per-view idea that was proposed on Twitter a few months ago. I DM'd you, and I said, how about this show topic for a slow week? Well,
Here we are.
Here we are. Kind of a slow week, but don't forget we are a part of the Overtime Sports Network. New web domain, otsportsnetwork.wixsite.com/OTSN. And if you wanted to follow the Overtime Sports Network on Twitter and Instagram, Tuck, where would you go?
You're going to go at _OTSN. Boom.
Wow. Simple.
Yep.
You already know this. If you listen from day one, you know we're part of OTSN.
You know it.
A couple of the main faces right here, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I almost did a power rankings blog of OTSN personalities. Where do you think I would have put you?
Well, you ahead of T-Walk, so I'm not going to be last.
That's true.
I know I'm not going to be last.
I was going to go
top
off
third. Top third.
I would say you're top 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't going to put myself in
I'm
it.
tier 1. I'm a tier 1 personality in your eyes. In your eyes.
Oh, yeah, I do know that song, but not you know it a little more than I do, but I know what you're talking. Because you have two. The way I look at it is like, how many podcasts do you do? Do you crank out blogs?
Yeah.
All that. You're probably 3.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I think Erica Marini brings in a lot of eyes to the brand.
Yeah, great content.
Yeah, for sure. Brent Piles, also a big face. Mikey Wilson, I got to give him some love.
Mikey tries.
Mikey should be number 1, maybe, if you look at for volume of all the things he does.
He gets after it. He works hard in every facet of his life. He works hard. He plays hard.
I've noticed that.
He boyfriend's hard too. People that like, if you could quantify it, he's that.
He does play hard. He was
Great
telling
guy.
me a story about going to the winery last weekend. But hey, any plans for you this weekend? I know it's the fall. You know,
Down in Indy for my last weekend with the travel ball team that I'm coaching. Last hoorah!
So is this it? Like,
And then
no
I'm
more
done.
coaching?
Yep, and then I'll be done off until December.
Wow,
Yeah,
nice little
good-
break for you.
Good time for Wheelhouse to warm up, if you're asking me. Season 2?
Yeah, that's how
People
you
are asking.
that's how you advertise it right
There you
there.
go.
Me this weekend, gonna make a trip to the Orchard County line.
There you go.
I go once a year.
Family?
No, a couple of the guys, and then Aaron and his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a group thing. But have you ever had like their salsa or hot sauce there?
I've
Did
had
you even
pumpkin
know?
and apple donuts. I've never been to County Line Orchard as an adult.
Ooh, I tell you what, I make one trip a year just to get
It's
the
kind
hot
of a
sauce.
madhouse, isn't it?
Oh,
Doesn't
yeah.
it suck?
I said we're going first thing Saturday morning just to get done before football, and because I know if we tried to go at like 11 a.m. on a Saturday,
What time do they open?
8 o'clock.
Oh, that's Jimmy time right there. Yeah, I'd be in.
We're used to it now.
Yeah.
And I know you definitely are too. What time do you usually get up for work? 5:40?
My first alarm goes off at 5:21. I'm trying to, and I do 2 snoozes, so 5:39 or whatever. Yeah.
On one of my accounts, I tweeted, if you have to set more than one alarm, you are mentally weak.
I only set one, but I snooze. No,
I won't say you're mentally weak if you snooze.
I'm afraid to sleep in though.
Oh, yeah. Don't you, at our age now, I feel like you're wasting your day if you're sleeping past.
I do have an alarm that goes off that says I need to be out of the house. That's a move.
Really?
Like, I need to be out by 6:40. So like when that alarm goes
Walking
off,
or running.
no, I need to be out of the house.
Oh.
Like my 6:40 alarm
To get ready for the day and
I need
go
to be
school.
in my car.
Gotcha.
Yeah, at 6:40.
I thought you were just telling yourself just to stay active. I set an alarm, which that doesn't
No,
sound
that's
like a
not
terrible
bad- that's
idea.
not- that's not a
And
bad
like, hey,
idea.
go out and do something with
Yeah.
your life.
No, I set my alarm at my get out of the house alarm. Like I need to either pick it up or I'm in good shape. Sometimes I'm a few minutes into the drive already, and then it goes off, and good part to my day. Good start
Not
to
a
my day.
terrible idea. How long does it usually take you to get ready? We're just
Not
totally
that long.
going off
I
here.
shower in the mornings or shower in the evening.
Oh,
Sorry,
you're a
so-
night shower
yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
I'm a morning guy.
Yeah,
It's a
not
hair
bad,
thing
man.
for me, though.
Yeah.
Like, I'll mess up my hair, and I don't have much.
Yeah.
Got to do it in the morning.
What you have, it's got to get good.
You got to get it at its best, and that is right when I wake up for sure. So let us know on Twitter at Bot on the Mark. Are you an evening shower person?
Yeah.
You like to shower in the morning?
Yep.
We talked about pancakes and waffles. That did well.
And if you're a guy, send pics.
or don't. We won't add our Snapchats because I've had actually somebody on my wrestling account, a guy, ask me what my Snapchat was. And it weirded me out.
You gave it to him.
I did not. Hell no.
Boom.
Not going to put the guy on blast.
That's a heel move.
What guy asks another guy that they've never met in their life for their Snapchat? It's not like I'm famous.
Could have been another listener.
I could understand if it was like, like, oh, our podcast is huge, but no offense, Tuck, but it's not yet.
We're getting there.
We will.
38 episodes in, we're getting there.
We are getting there. But hey, let's get to the topic at hand here. The WWE draft is what we're going to talk about first. We all know that happened this past Friday and Monday with SmackDown and Raw. What were your overall thoughts on how this was presented? Stephanie McMahon virtually would just come out there, say a couple picks, and then that's about it.
The idea of a draft should be so cool. Like, it could be really awesome. And I don't care.
Yeah.
The viewership went down. The draft should be a big night. There should be big moves, big changes, and there's not a ton to write home about.
There's a few, but not a lot. But I just thought it was weird. So they called each show had a first round technically. So like SmackDown, there was a first round, and then on Raw we had first round picks as well. But I still find it weird that we are having 5 first round picks.
Yeah,
like you shouldn't it just go one person, like 2 people? That's round 1. Round 2 is the next 2.
Yeah,
like there's 2 brands. Why are 5 people a part of one round?
Doesn't make sense to me either.
The presentation could have been much better, and I don't know how you go about doing that. But back in the day, they used to do, and it's probably different that there's no fans, but like people would come out and have entrances, be like, the next pick is, and then they'd do like a drum roll, and then the music hits.
Pops.
Yeah, I mean, that would work probably with fans, but not right now. But the first round picks from the first 2 days were Drew McIntyre going to Raw, Roman Reigns, Asuka, Seth Rollins going to SmackDown, The Hurt Business on Raw, The Fiend making his way over to Monday Night Raw, Bayley staying on SmackDown, Randy Orton staying on Raw, the Street Profits moving over to SmackDown, and Charlotte Flair was also drafted in the first round. So the SmackDown roster, you have Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion, stayed. Sami Zayn, the Intercontinental Champion, he's staying. Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens makes the jump as well. Only one of the Usos, Big E, Aleister Black makes his way over. Apollo Crews, Otis, Murphy, Kalisto, Lars Sullivan, and King Corbin, and Shorty G. What name really stands out to you there that is hanging out on the SmackDown brand?
Aleister Black.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins going from the red to the blue.
Mm-hmm.
See how that looks. But yeah, that's about it.
Also, I don't even think I listed it here, but I believe the Mysterios are on SmackDown as well.
Ray and Dominic. Yep.
Yeah, Ray and Dominic are there. So the women's division on SmackDown right now is Bayley, Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, which I think is going to be good for her because after that, it kind of falls off a little bit. You got Carmella, Natalya, Billie Kay, Tamina, and Zelina Vega. Thoughts on the SmackDown women's division?
Yeah, I think you have a 2/3 tiers: Bayley, Sasha, Bianca.
Yeah,
and then you have that other tier: Carmella, Natalya, Billie Kay, Tamina. Vega.
I wouldn't put Tamina in that tier.
That's just in the other category.
Oh, okay, yeah.
3 at the top, cool, and then on the Raw side, you have 3 at the top, two.
I think Raw women's division's a little better. I mean, you have Asuka, who's awesome. Charlotte Flair's not around, but she's there. Alexa Bliss with The Fiend is very intriguing.
Yeah.
And then none of these people are bad. Like, Lacey Evans is solid. Nikki Cross is good. Peyton Royce, I'm excited to see what she can do as a singles. And then you have Lana, who has a women's championship match next week, Tuck.
I can't wait for that, man. I am gassed up for that.
That's a thing. That's happening.
Yep.
Why?
Yep.
And that was talking Lana on the Mark Wrestling podcast. The tag teams on SmackDown, though, the Street Profits are flipping over. They could become the SmackDown champions. They literally just swap belts with the New Day. Cesaro and Shinsuke, Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, and the Mysterios, they are labeling as a tag team. So maybe there's a run coming.
Sure.
And then the women's tag team over there, really just the main one that's solidified, is the Riot Squad. Over on Raw, you have Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, R-Truth. So you got 3 champions there. AJ Styles makes his way over with The Fiend. You have Randy Orton, Braun Strowman also coming over, Matt Riddle coming over, Jeff Hardy making his way over from SmackDown. It seems like Raw got the better end of this draft, no?
Well, I think the reasoning, in my head, a logical reasoning is because SmackDown's been the better program.
Yes,
Raw,
we would agree.
Raw needs the juice right now. Now we're going to find out, is it the wrestlers or is it the writers? And that's going to be an interesting dynamic to see how it's booked.
Is it the 3-hour show or is it the 2-hour show? Is it just the struggles of, booking superstars for 3 hours, trying to fill all that time?
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of time. I know there's commercials and all that, but they're probably on screen for close to 2 hours.
Yeah, well, between what's an hour show runs for like 43 minutes.
Yeah, and I know like an NXT, if you were to watch it, the next day is about an hour 30.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
so you're getting like 2 hours and 10 minutes, 2:15. The problem is investing 3 actual hours.
There's a lot of talent, though. And Elias made his return. He's on Monday Night Raw as well. Sheamus is over there. Angel Garza, Carrillo. I'm just going to go down the rest of the list. Drew Gulak. Tucker is on Raw, not with Otis. Dabba-Kato, Titus O'Neil, Akira Tozawa, Riddick Moss. And it virtually just seems like the Raw Underground crew. That's at the bottom of that.
Yeah, that's it.
The women's division is Asuka, Charlotte Flair, Naomi. Oh, I already said that. We don't need to repeat that. Men's tag team division, the New Day, the new champs on Raw. The Hurt Business stays there. The Miz and Morrison are making their way over. Retribution and the Lucha House Party, and then the tag teams on the women's side. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, the champions. And then Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke are going there as well to Monday Night Raw. The notable takeaways, I would say, is that Andrade and Mickie James, who were in the draft pool, didn't get drafted at all.
Weird, especially from the Andrade side of things. It's weird that he wasn't picked. Riddick Moss is drafted.
So it was a Turo, whatever.
Huas, drafted. Okay. Shorty G, drafted.
He was.
And is it because Andrade's injured? Uncertainty there?
There's no injury talks, but he did tweet out the other day a picture with him and the NXT Championship.
Okay.
He was good in NXT, but, like, what else is there for him to do in NXT?
Right.
He held the biggest championship, and then, once again, you might run into a problem in NXT where you have too much going on.
Yeah, you only have 2 hours a week.
I don't know. So we'll see what happens there. Mickie James, I guess, makes sense because she's a veteran, and she'll probably just pop in and out, have a match here.
She's an old, yeah.
Yeah, but not in the draft pools that didn't get assigned to a brand. Becky Lynch, Prego. Makes sense. Jimmy Uso.
Weird.
Kind of weird that he didn't go where his brother went. Ivar, who's on the shelf. Sonya Deville, who was quote-unquote fired from WWE. Edge, who should be making his way back soon, right?
Weird.
Yeah, very odd. Jinder Mahal. Samoa Joe. So I guess his commentary is probably his thing now. Mojo Rawley, The Forgotten Sons, Bo Dallas, and The Big Show. Another big takeaway for us, especially you, no more heavy machinery. How do you feel about that? Just pulling the trigger before they even had a run on the main roster.
It's just sad, you know. You have two guys with such great talent, great chemistry. And it's like the potential between the two guys. It's like they're blue collar solid. Like they work really hard. And
Get this guy a tissue over here.
It's like
keep it together, man. Those are the onions you're smelling right now.
Oh, is it the chili? That's hot.
That's spicy. No, that kind of sucks, though, doesn't it?
It really sucks for Tucker because he was literally carried by Otis. Tucker is now going to get the B team treatment, and he gone.
Yeah, not great. He probably won't make it on his own, and that's unfortunate because they didn't even give him a chance, like I said, with the tag team championship.
And he's not even in that spot where he can go like kill it on the indies. Like if Tucker comes to Black Label Pro, is that the reason why you were buying the ticket?
No, it's not. And he's
cool.
Talented, yeah.
He is. He can wrestle, but it's like you feel bad for him because you know all the time and effort he's put in is just as much as other guys, but it is what it is.
It's kind of like when the Ascension left WWE and they started going to indies. Like, that's not, like, a reason I'm going to go to an indie show, like, to see the Ascension. And that might happen to Tucker here. Who knows? Maybe he'll pan out. But another tag team that is officially split now is that the New Day is separating. Big E's staying on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods are going to go to Monday Night Raw. This has to be good for Big E, though, right?
That's what when I saw that, that was the feeling I got, that they're intentionally separating him, hopefully because they have plans. And one call back to the Tucker thing. We talked about this last episode on episode 37. We talked about stories.
Yeah.
If they put him in a compelling story, it doesn't matter who it is. I don't trust that they'll do that. So
Right,
possible. Like it's not crazy to think that Tucker gets into a mid card program.
He's going to be in the 24/7 title stuff,
and that's the thing that terrifies me. Now, does he keep the same blue collar solid gimmick denim jacket thing? Does he? Well,
that's the same question with the New Day. Does Big E still act like a member of the New Day, or is he going to embrace this new persona?
I kind of hope he kind of makes it his own, becomes flashy, swaggy, still over the top, but, a nature boyish kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, and I think with the split, too, this kind of solidifies Kofi's career now. He had that main roster or main title picture run with the WWE Championship. But if he's moving over with Xavier Woods, I think their plans with him are just to keep him as a tag team guy.
Sure.
Which, I mean, he's great at that, but I would like to see some of his single stuff as well. As Xavier Woods could probably handle it on his own. He's got personality.
I agree.
So, I don't know. We'll see.
And if they keep them separate, too, it does make for an awesome New Day reunion at some point as well.
They talked about that, I believe, a little bit on Busted Open Radio, how now's the right time to split teams because you can even bring back some of them right when the crowds are at 100%.
Yeah.
Just to get that pop, that moment of them reuniting and having that live crowd reaction for sure.
And the thing that you can play on, too, is like the pandemic hasn't been easy for anybody, right? And it strains you could say that the current situation just got too much to handle for these pairs and split them. Cool. And then here we go.
Yeah. Two more things I wanted to touch on about the draft. The Fiend and Rollins seem to be the biggest singles switch. I don't know what feud the Fiend is going to be involved with now that Kevin Owens and Aleister Black are over on SmackDown, but whatever he's doing with Alexa Bliss, I know we talked about this last week, but how about that moment on Monday Night Raw?
And I want all of it, and I want some more of it. My Fiend hoodie doesn't fit me anymore, so there's that. But
yeah, you're part of the 175 club. Welcome.
Yeah. It's good to be here.
Just two 175 guys hanging out.
We're just so slim. Like, we're just in such great shape.
I mean, you look very slim. I just look like my normal self.
You look like you're in good health.
Fair. The way I eat, though, that chili that you see in that pot over there.
Give me that. How long will that last you?
A couple days. I put a pound of ground beef in there, a can of beans, tomatoes.
But the chili's like slept on it. That's not bad stuff.
And you know what isn't a bad move is putting the macaroni pasta into it and making like a chili mac kind of thing.
That's for sure.
That's a good move as well. I don't have any here, so I'm not going to do it. But like, if you have leftovers, which I will have,
here we go.
Just recycle that meal over and over. It's the things you got to do when you live by yourself.
And we're heading into fall. We need those hearty meals.
This is a cold weather day.
Yeah.
Like, compared to what we've had, what was it, high of 55 today?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty
Still
cool.
Still a warm sun, though. I'm hoping we have legs until into November, a couple weeks.
I'm a little worried about tonight's low temperature. I'm looking at it right now, 30 degrees.
Good. That's good.
That's going to make it very cold in
Chile boy.
In the house because I'm not cranking that heat on yet. No.
Do you got the heater in the entertainment center?
I do.
Okay.
I could do that, but I'm not going to leave it on all night.
But you can let that ride for a minute. Get under the blankets.
I don't know how. So if people that obviously can't see what we're talking about, I have an entertainment center with one of those fake fires, but it does give off heat.
Yeah.
I wonder how that affect the energy bill. Is it just like a normal thing being plugged into the wall? So
it'll suck up a little bit, but it's not high. It's not as mine is not as high voltage as like a space heater.
Yeah. I used to have one of those in my college basement because
you're not going to tell much.
So cold
you won't tell much of a difference with that.
Okay. All right. The last thing from the draft, a lot of people are talking about this one. Why would you even draft Retribution? Their goal and purpose is to destroy WWE. Why would a brand actively go out of their way to bring that to their brand?
Well, and you could have made an interesting debate where like SmackDown and Raw were fighting not to get Retribution, but they were selected.
Kind of like whatever's left over.
Yeah, like, and it shakes out like we don't want Retribution, we don't want them. You can have, okay, these two people are going to fight. Loser's brand takes Retribution, that kind of thing. Because then you could have made Retribution out to be a menace,
or you straight up don't draft them And Retribution just keeps doing their thing, hopping from brand to brand, causing havoc, and then they just say, hey, nobody took us in, so we're going to make our own statement here.
Yeah.
It just, like, if you're an NFL team and there's this top prospect out there, but we know he's got a bad history with the crime and all that, you know, domestic violence, because that's a big thing. Are you going to go and draft him in the first round?
No.
I know Retribution wasn't drafted in the first round, but they were drafted pretty high.
Yeah, risk assessment. If you want to make Retribution bad, show that neither brand wants them. That they almost fear them or they're afraid of them. But
now Monday Night Raw wants Retribution.
Yeah, they want the slapjack, in the T-bar.
Is Mercedes Martinez not a part of that anymore? Did you notice that?
Yeah, weird. I don't know.
She's just not
no answer,
in any of pictures whatsoever.
No.
I don't know. Anything else in the draft?
No, let's just see how it goes from here.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We'll see. Tomorrow night, SmackDown looks pretty strong. Daniel Bryan's making his return tomorrow, so that's cool. That's something.
I thought he got released. I read somewhere. Was that
No, that must have been fake.
Like a rumor, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You can't believe everything you see on the internet.
I know. I teach that, too.
But this main topic we got from the internet.
Yeah.
This is where we're going here. We asked this question on Twitter. A few months ago, we saw on Twitter, actually, that @Chandran the Man proposed the question of, if AEW and WWE were ever to do an interpromotional pay-per-view, who would you like to see wrestle each other? Well, Chan Man, we are discussing that here today. What we decided is we are going to have an 8-match main card. You can have a few pre-show matches, too, if you want. And we also asked on Twitter, @PonOnTheMark, to some of our listeners to give us their card on what they would do if AEW and WWE were to go head-to-head. So, first thing, Tuck, you got to have a pre-show if you're going to have a pay-per-view, right?
It makes sense to me.
Give me a match on the pre-show for AEW versus WWE.
This is a match on the pre-show that could be match of the night.
Wow, bold take here. I don't even know the match, but that's bold.
Ricochet versus Rey Fenix.
Ooh. And the purpose of the match, obviously, just...
Get out. Just go. Bounce off the walls.
Yeah.
Just freaking send it,
Go.
boys. Let's go.
I don't hate it at all.
Moving. And I built my card after looking at a number of other cards that were already out there. So some of my picks, like some of the other picks that I have, are unavoidable. But I chose and left some people off, notably, just to give talking points on other matches. So that's my only pre-show match.
That match has to be a banger.
It would be great.
Yeah, that would be fun to
and
watch.
there's a lot of pieces between AEW and WWE when you're looking at rosters that you could really get a lot of different different style matches. I think Ricochet versus Rey Fenix would be a good one.
And just doing this too, coming up with this topic, I just thought, man, could you imagine if they actually did this at one point? I know it probably would never happen because Vince McMahon's ego is too large, and honestly, Tony Khan probably would never even want to work with Vince McMahon.
You know how much money it would bring in, though?
Oh, man. And you would have legit people like it's a Survivor Series picking sides. Mm-hmm. Like, we were there, like, picking between NXT, SmackDown, and Raw when we were in the crowd. There's going to be people in AEW gear, and there's going to be those diehard WWE marks, and it would get hostile.
Yeah.
You can make, like, a WrestleMania-type venue for this, too, so...
Yeah, it would sell. I do have an AEW infographic that I'd like to share before. I found it on Twitter, and it's about AEW Dynamite and their anniversary, the past year and data and stuff like that. It doesn't fit right now, but I think that would be a good wrap-up to the show.
Okay, fair enough.
And that's that.
Okay.
So Ricochet, Rey Fenix on the pre-show for me, I think it would be cool.
Aaron Orioles is the only other person that's not one of us to give pre-show matches. He went with a matchup that's very popular, 2 vet matchups that you will see talked about a lot if these were to ever happen. Darby Allin versus Jeff Hardy is one of them.
Yeah.
The personalities are...
The old guard versus the new guard, the Old Testament versus the New Testament type thing.
And Darby always talks about how he models his career off of Jeff Hardy. So
and you see shades of it all over the place.
100%. They're both risk takers. It would be a great way to start off a show for sure. And another match he has on his pre-show, The Miz versus MJF.
Well, I think that's a perfect pairing, right?
Yeah.
Heel versus heel, over the top.
Imagine if you gave them like time to do promos.
Oh, well, that's where your bread is buttered there. Yeah. Match quality might not be through the roof, but they are good workers, and we have seen that MJF can get up there and give good matches. Say with The Miz.
It wouldn't blow the roof off, but the entertainment value, you couldn't look away from it. So that's a good pre-show match. I have 2 pre-show matches as well, one of them being a 6-woman elimination tag match. I have 3 of the 4 horsewomen, Charlotte Flair, Bayley, and Sasha Banks, teaming up to face Britt Baker, who I think is the best in AEW, Chris Statlander, and Big Swole. So virtually the big 3 of AEW, arguably, you could say Sheeta, but I have Sheeta in another match, versus 3 of the top stars in WWE. You make it an elimination match, and then virtually the last woman standing goes over there.
There you go.
It's a way to get all of them on the card.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you couldn't have a card without Sasha, Bayley, and Charlotte. And if you look at the PWI that just came out today, those 3 in the top 5.
I might subscribe.
I was thinking about it, too.
It's not that... It's like $35 or something.
Elena Black was number 99. We just saw her the last couple pay-per-views.
Congrats.
On AEW Dark as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a good talent for sure. But yeah, I would have that 6-woman elimination tag match. And then every pre-show needs a battle royal. And that's how you also get everybody on the card.
There you go.
That's my thought process when I was doing this. Like
40-man or what?
No, not 40. This isn't the greatest Royal Rumble over here. That could be like that.
Yeah.
Mine has 10. I have 5 from each brand.
Cool.
I thought that was fair. Hangman Adam Page didn't make the main card. That was tough.
Wow.
Orange Cassidy.
Wow.
Lance Archer. These are all names not on my main card. Miro, Brian Cage, and Darby Allin. So maybe that's 6. 6 and 6. Okay. And then for the WWE side of things, Jeff Hardy, Braun Strowman, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins not making the main card, and Keith Lee. So what I'm thinking with this Battle Royal is it's going to create a lot of dream matchups or showdowns in it. You can have Hangman and Rollins kind of doing their own thing. I feel like that is a matchup that would be electric. Yeah. You have Orange Cassidy and Sami Zayn because they're both quirky and gimmicky and very entertaining, and I think they can create some magic in there. Lance Archer and Braun Strowman, I mean, that sells itself. 2 big men just bumping meat right there. Miro and Kevin Owens, Brian Cage and Keith Lee tangling it up would be interesting to see.
The strength of that ring is going to be
tested.
Put to test, yes.
Yeah, and then the last kind of showdown, Jeff Hardy and Darby Allin.
Yeah.
So it's just virtually a battle royal for pride right there, but it's saying a lot when a lot of those names aren't on my main card.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my pre-show right there. So we're going to get into the main card, which was 8 matches. We told everybody on Twitter. Only one person didn't 100% get it. My boy at Fight Mission, Michael. He did AEW versus NXT, but he also created some good matches there as well.
There you go. I mean, it's nice to have that sprinkle into the conversation as well.
A big name that we haven't talked about for obvious reasons is Cody Rhodes. Cody's got to be involved in this pay-per-view in a marquee matchup. Do you want to go first, or should I share some of the people's matches?
I put Cody in the War Games match that I came up with.
Okay, then we're going to save your take.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't want to get... the fact that you're having War Games on this...
War Games! There you go.
Yeah. Ryan Vogus is going with Cody versus Roman Reigns. I mean, 2 top dogs going at it. That's the story right there. Aaron's going with, I think it's a popular decision, Cody versus Triple H, Hell in a Cell match. They got beef.
Yeah.
They be beefing.
Legit.
And that, I mean, that
from
the build.
The sledgehammer comes with the action figure, doesn't it?
Yeah, and he hit the throne when he had his entrance at All In.
Kind of a kitschy spot. The throne just kind of fell apart in 2 pieces, whatever. But it's fine.
Yeah. And of course, I have to have a match with Cody involved in it. My guy that I have facing Cody is Drew McIntyre.
Ooh.
And I want to put a little stipulation on it because I feel like these guys are arguably the biggest faces in the company right now. Make it a last man standing match.
Last man standing dog collar ambulance match.
We don't need all.
Okay, all right.
But I don't know. I think Cody versus Drew is just... They have history, too. Like, they work together in WWE.
Yeah, and good stories of ups and downs in their career and and
They
things
both
like
do,
that.
yeah.
I have a match with Drew McIntyre. We might be able to do that too.
Yeah, why don't
Kind
you
of
just share
attached.
it? Is it a Drew singles match?
A Drew McIntyre match. He would square off in my card against Lance Archer.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All
I like
right.
Lance Archer. Drew McIntyre's holding gold right now. You know,
Lance should be.
he's in the title picture. Yeah. So I think those guys would put on a good match.
I like that. Aaron, going off of the Drew McIntyre point, going with Miro. I mean, he probably just wanted to get both those guys on the card.
Sure.
So that's a way of doing that. And then I'm going to see, Vogus. He got McIntyre on the card versus Lance Archer as well. So you
great
two
minds.
you two are on the same wavelength there. I almost forgot about Mikey Wilson. He just sent his responses in as well. And from what I see, he doesn't have Cody or Drew McIntyre on this card.
But he definitely has Orange Cassidy on that card.
Yes.
doesn't he?
How, Mikey? I was just praising you earlier.
He did it off the he did it off the top of his head.
How do
he
you
was going
leave
quick.
Cody and Drew
He
McIntyre
was
off
going
the card?
fast. He knew everyone else was going to have those picks, so he picked other matches. That's a good call, Mikey.
All right. Well, we'll save your Cody selection there, but why don't you run through a few of your mid card bouts? Give me like 2 or 3 matches, and then I can maybe play off of some of them.
Well, we can play off this person first, Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega seems to be on many people's cards, as he should be.
100%.
The person that I chose to square off against Kenny Omega, and I feel would be a good match, the original Bro, Matt Riddle.
Bro.
Yes, I think
that's an interesting choice.
Bro Mega. That'd be an awesome tag team.
Bro Mega.
People forget that, I guess. But I just thought you see a number of other pairings that kind of pop up. I think Kenny Omega, AJ Styles is a popular one. I think
We'll make it simple. That is my choice.
yeah, okay.
2 of the best in the world, just going at it, and
And-
history there with the
yeah.
Bullet Club and all that.
From a body standpoint, similar, jacked to the nines, but not like they're really cut, really athletic. I think they could put on another good match in the ilk of Ricochet and Rey Fenix. I like the actiony type stuff. I don't fall in love as much with the technical side of wrestling as some people do. So I think Riddle and Omega would be a good match.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique matchup that, to my knowledge, we probably have never seen before, and nobody else has that match on their card. Ryan Vogus, I'm trying to find exactly where he has Kenny Omega. He might have left Omega. No, Omega versus Randy Orton.
Well, it does give you the opportunity for the heel in the face
True.
with Kenny Omega.
Aaron's doesn't make much sense to me. He went Omega versus Styles versus Orton. So you're having 2 WWE guys. I feel like they would team up on Kenny Omega in that match. I don't. Aaron, that one doesn't make much sense to me.
Attaboy, Oros.
And of course, I have Omega versus AJ Styles. If you could even make that an Iron Man match and have it go for an hour, but they probably wouldn't have the time. And Mikey Wilson's is the one that has been discussed before. He has Kenny Omega versus Daniel Bryan. 2 pure
That would
wrestlers.
That would be a good one. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that match has had to have happened before when Daniel Bryan was in Ring of Honor or something. Their paths have probably crossed for sure. But yeah, Daniel Bryan, make your card anywhere else?
Daniel Bryan is not on my card.
Same. Okay, so we're on the same page there.
AJ Styles is on my card.
Who's he facing?
The Hangman, Adam Page.
All right.
So similar bodies type thing. That's kind of just what I went for. And I know Adam Page is on many cards, so that's another segue for us. But
Another one of our listeners has that match as well. Ryan Vogus.
seriously,
Styles versus Hangman is one of his matches.
the Hangman.
Okay.
We'll take it.
I mean, you're going to get a good match out of it, that's for sure. Mikey Wilson has Hangman versus Kevin Owens. Don't really see how that connects, but
It would be a good.
it can't be
match.
bad. It can't be bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of these a lot of these combinations are just going to be good matches.
Yeah. And that's half the battle here. But I also wanted to go with story. But I didn't really have Hangman in the main match. He was in that Battle Royal. So that's not a guy that I had here. Tag teams have to be involved. Do you have multiple tag matches or just one?
I have one 8-man ladder match.
God damn it. I have an 8-man ladder match, too. I'm very curious on who yours is now.
So I went.
By the way, so people are listening, we didn't compare
You
ours,
and I did not see picks.
Yeah.
We've seen floated picks via Twitter and things like that.
but not each other's.
My ladder match has infighting infighting each other. So
Yeah.
I have FTR and the Young Bucks.
Yep.
I have them squaring off against the Street Profits and Shinsuke and Cesaro.
Oh, okay. I had New Day and the Usos.
Okay, good. So that's, for me, the Street Profits and Shinsuke and Cesaro have went back and forth. Have they even fought each other?
No.
Co-champions. They're both champions, though, right?
No, Cesaro and Nakamura just lost to the New Day.
Well, they've been champions.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so
They've had
title
reigns.
picture in AEW, title picture in WWE.
Yeah.
Working together. You know, the one team that I don't super love in this matchup is actually FTR.
Mine was going to be Cesaro and Nakamura.
I love them as wrestlers, and I think they can do it.
I think they're better
But
as singles.
FTR's shtick is grapples,
Pure,
right? Arn
yeah.
and Tully, talk heavy, hit hard, brother.
Say yeah.
I got you.
So, but I think it would be a good match. I'm interested to hear your ladder match.
Yeah, FTR, the Young Bucks, New Day, and the Usos. The way I look at it is those are the two best teams on each brand.
Yeah.
I don't personally, I'm not a fan of the Young Bucks. I've stated that multiple times, but it's hard to deny their popularity and their match quality that they put together. So them and FTR makes sense. And the New Day and the Usos have been the best two tag teams of the past decade. So, I mean, that's just electric right there. There's no way that match disappoints, and it could steal the show.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
that was a no-brainer for me, and it's also a way to get all those tag teams involved. So Mikey Wilson has the New Day on the main card. He has them facing the Best Friends, which that could be a fun one, just by entertainment purposes, because they're both very fun groups.
The New Day versus who?
Best Friends.
Oh, yeah.
Now, with the
Best friend. Can't wait for them to change their theme. And
why are we changing everyone's theme?
Come on now.
Let's not do that. I'm trying to see other tag team matches that we have here. New Day versus Young Bucks versus FTR versus Usos is Aaron's match as well. So those same teams, but his is an elimination match. So if one man gets pinned, they're out. Virtually last team standing in that one. So that's actually probably a better stipulation, since a ladder match you need championships, and what are you going to have? The world champion?
The OTM World Championship?
Yeah, sure. Let's see if, New Day versus Usos versus the Young Bucks for Ryan Vogus. So he kind of did what Aaron did with the singles and a triple threat, but he put them into a tag team triple threat.
Cool.
But yeah, there's no way you can leave those tag teams off the card. So those were no-brainers for me. And also a no-brainer for me was getting the women's champions on the card. And I don't know their history or what from overseas, but Hikaru Shida versus Asuka.
What I had, yeah.
That match has to happen.
It makes sense. Makes sense. Similar styles. Yeah, there's just not a ton of firepower in the women's division in AEW to justify a ton of women's matches because in my mind, the WWE runs roughshod. NXT runs roughshod.
And it showed on the rankings today, the PWI rankings.
Yeah.
That isn't the end-all, be-all, but
yeah.
It's a good indication of what.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The women's match that Mikey has is the only one, is Britt Baker versus Charlotte Flair. Those are probably the two best wrestlers in those women divisions. Let's see what Fight Mission has here. We haven't brought him up. I know he did NXT versus AEW, but this match would be electric. Io Shirai versus Hikaru Shida.
There you go, yeah. And that's another element where we don't get that without the NXT element.
And he also has, if NXT versus AEW happen, Britt Baker versus Dakota Kai.
That'd be a good one.
Another one that's probably happened before as well. Aaron has Charlotte versus Shida.
Mm-hmm.
Two of the best going at it, and I'm going to try to see if Vogus has either one. Vogus has no female matches on the card.
I would like to publicly speak for Ryan Vogus and say that he is not a sexist. He loves women of all shapes and sizes.
Very appreciative of him.
Yes. It was just in building his card.
He did it quick, too.
Yes.
How does he not have his girl, Alexa Bliss?
That is not a statement of Ryan's character.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm surprised maybe he misread it. I don't know. He did make it quick, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. Oh, yeah, that's a women's match right there. A matchup that I think all of us have. The Exalted One versus The Fiend.
Yeah, many people had that. That's why I didn't have it.
Oh, you don't have it. So
I would add it to my card. I didn't create that match.
My little twist on that is, and obviously that story tells itself because Brody Lee, a.k.a. Luke Harper, was part of the Wyatt family with Bray Wyatt and WWE. They've had their go-abouts for a decade now, and now they're both kind of cultish, demonic leaders,
swamp-ass
with
match.
Followers. No, not a swamp. And I think one of the followers has to be there for each. So it's not going to be a mixed tag, but I believe the Fiend should have Alexa Bliss present, and I think the Exalted One, Brody Lee, should have Anna Jay ringside as well. So everybody else seemed to have that match, but you don't have that.
Just because, not because I don't think it would be a good match, because I wanted to spend my time trying to do other things because I knew we would talk about that one. And I would agree, I would put that on my card.
It would be very fun. But where do you have the Fiend then?
I don't. I just left it.
What?
No, he would be on the card. That is the match that I'm kind of seceding to.
No, sorry. You just left him off the card. No, you're the worst booker of all time.
Oh, fuck me.
Do you have? So you don't have Brody Lee on the card then,
I don't. Brody Lee don't do it for me.
Really?
I'm all right without him. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that was a matchup that seemed pretty unanimous. We mentioned MJF earlier. You didn't have him at all on the card, right?
Correct.
I have MJF taking on Randy Orton.
Okay.
We have the established veteran. Randy Orton's cocky in his own way. We all know how MJF is. He's the young gun. He's the next up-and-coming heel. But Randy also is a fantastic heel when he wants to be. I think he would probably work babyface style in this one, kind of be forced to with MJF, but it's the veteran versus the young heel going at it, and I think that matchup could be very good.
Well, and as they talked about on Busted Open before, weeks ago, a layer to Randy Orton that we haven't seen before. We've seen him be the legend killer, now make him the future killer, right?
Ooh,
when you square him off against MJF, that's that layer that to Randy Orton where he's putting out a flame before it even gets hot kind of thing. That'd be interesting.
MJF, I was the only one that put him on the main card, which is actually pretty surprising. Like I feel like that kind of personality needs to be on your card. I don't know, that maybe not.
Well, we only had 8 matches. If it was a WrestleMania card, we could make like 22 matches.
That's fair. What other matches that we left off that you have? Because I have 2 more on my card that I haven't read. One of them's the main event, so don't say your main event.
I have 2 War Games matches lined up.
Oh, let's hear about these. Tucky's War Games.
So one easy one for me that I would enjoy would be Inner Circle versus the NXT Undisputed Era. So I did go down there for that.
Are you grabbing a guy with that?
No, I am leaving Jake Hager the hell out of it.
See ya. That's fine.
Jericho, Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz.
Did you see my tweet last night? I was like,
yeah.
Jake Hager virtually just the Walmart version of Brock Lesnar. And then Bogus was like, don't you dare talk shit about Walmart.
Don't slander Walmart.
Hey, go buy Coke products at Walmart.
They are there. They have that, and it is available for purchase.
I'm a big fan of Reign Energy. I have a 12-pack in my fridge right now.
Yes.
But, go on. So, Undisputed Era versus the Inner Circle in the War Games.
And then my other one that I came up with among personalities, Brian Cage, Joey Janela, Darby Allin, and Cody. I know the personalities don't super mesh well.
The first 3 actually make sense because they're kind of degenerates in a way.
And I think throwing Cody into it kind of gives the leader.
Yeah, I get it.
In weeks or months of build-up, we can go there.
Get it? Okay.
Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, Kevin Owens, and the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins.
So that would take some time to build, I think, though.
It would. It would 100% take some time to build. My WWE entrants were matches/pairs. Rollins gets in because Cody's in. Braun is the big against Brian Cage. Aleister Black, Joey Janela, Darby Allin, Kevin Owens.
Just mixing it up.
Those 4 kind of in that.
Yeah.
I like Aleister Black. I want him in a match. I like Kevin Owens. He's a friend of the show.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens.
We have met him.
Right. Joey Janela doing halftime shows at football games according to ESPN. God damn.
How do you not do your research on that?
Like you said, it would literally an unpaid intern somewhere for 3 minutes. Like if you
connect the dots,
ESPN,
Twitter,
put the video out and say, anybody know about this? People would tell you. Like
we would tell you.
Yes.
It was Warrior Wrestling. It was not a halftime. And if you don't know what we're talking about, ESPN tweeted out the picture of Joey Janela's table spot against, why am I blanking on who that was?
Robert Anthony Ego.
Anthony. Yeah. And that was at Warrior Wrestling where we went a couple weeks ago. And they said it was at the halftime of a high school football event.
Well, Barstool tweeted it out as a meme. Like, what kind
they
of
didn't say it was a high school
show
event.
is this? They did.
What kind of halftime?
They're like, that'd be a cool. Like they were not claiming it as fact. And then ESPN like takes it and they're like, come on, dude.
Just do your research. But yeah, that second War Games match, it's good talent, but I think we would need a lot of building.
And that's really the only something different.
I think everybody's along the line, though, of Inner Circle Undisputed.
Yeah.
Aaron Oros is going with Inner Circle versus the Undisputed Era, but they're picking up a fifth, Kevin Owens.
Oh, okay.
Which I get that because in War Games, Kevin Owens filled in for the NXT
was
squad. Always been an NXT guy first. So, and that kind of match would be like Survivor Series style. He's saying like a 5-team elimination type of match there. I don't think Bogus has any of them involved in the card. I'm going down, blah, blah, blah. The Inner Circle versus the Hurt Business in a Survivor Series type match.
That'd be cool.
Hurt Business would probably need Ricochet then, I'm assuming, because they only have 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I did have that originally, but then I saw Aaron's idea for a match. And then I, of course, also went Inner Circle versus Undisputed Era. And I also wanted a fifth. Can you guess my fifth? NXT guy, but it's not
for
the Undisputed Era. To join the Undisputed Era to take on the Inner Circle.
Take on the Inner Circle, Undisputed Era guy. Cameron Grimes. No, I didn't.
Cameron Grimes! No.
I just wanted to say it.
Yeah.
Their other guy is Dexter Loomis.
No.
Oh, I don't know.
Finn Balor.
Okay. Makes sense.
Finn's the face of NXT. You got to get him involved in something there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Undisputed Era plus Finn Balor taking on the Inner Circle. That is my matchup right there. Any other matches that you didn't share that are on your card?
I mean, besides the obvious one.
Besides the main event?
Yeah. No.
Main event across the board?
You can say it.
The AEW champion, Moxley versus the tribal chief, the Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. I mean, come on, Tuck.
Yeah. A lot of the backstories there.
Could you imagine that build? That'd be so much fun.
You want to make $1 billion? There you go.
Like, honestly, if you put a gun to my head and said, give me one match you want to see, Jon Moxley versus Roman Reigns has to be that match for me. Like, the promos back and forth. Roman can talk about how he was loyal and always was the face of the Shield, the guy that WWE chose, and just push Moxley to the side. But Moxley can say, hey, look what I did. I left the company. I made something out of myself. And now I'm, quote-unquote, the best wrestler on the planet, according to PWI.
Yeah.
So that's your main event as well, then?
Yeah, obviously, yeah. I think that would be a great match. You would sell 1 million tickets to it. You could sell out the Dallas Cowboys Stadium.
Yeah, that would be so good. Fight Mission, our guy Michael, with the NXT AEW thing, he said Finn Balor versus Moxley. I mean, those are the two top guys.
Good.
Yeah.
Not going to make $1 billion like
no,
like
but
Roman
he also
and
didn't read
Jon Moxley
100% the rules there, so it's all right.
He made it his own.
We'll get. I don't know what Mikey's main event's going to be.
Is Moxley in a match?
No.
Oh, come on, man.
Mikey, you left Cody off. You left Moxley off. What are we?
He does have Pineapple Pete in a match, so I'm sure.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, that'd be a Mikey move.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I would have lost it there. Aaron Oro's also going with Roman Reigns versus Jon Moxley for his main event of this pay-per-view. And then it looks like the main event for Vogus would have been Roman versus Cody. So I'm trying to find where Moxley would take on Seth Rollins.
That'd be good.
Once again, same kind of history there.
Yeah, same ilk.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that covers it. Is there anything else you want to talk about from this card itself?
No, it was fun to think about. Like I told you, it's wheelhouse-ish, with wheelhouse base.
It is wheelhouse shit, though.
New shirt. Wheelhouse-esque, we're hoping to come back with season 2 here. Rat might be having a schedule change, so excited about that.
Yeah, and if you want to give us some feedback, you listen to this and you weren't able to, provide your dream card, just tweet us back at Pod on the Mark. Let us know. 8 matches. You can have a couple pre-show if you want to. But, yeah, just looking
What
up.
did we miss? There's got to be good matchups we missed.
We fucked up somewhere, didn't we?
We had to have. But yeah.
I think my card's the best. I don't.
Of course you do.
I mean, come on.
Okay,
my card is stacked.
Let's have some AEW Dynamite fun.
Okay.
I have an anniversary. This is an infographic. I want to pull it up. On Reddit, r/squared circle on Reddit, there was an infographic. This infographic the first time I saw it was tweeted out by Trent Noble at silent_SDD.
Oh yeah, I know him.
Do you actually?
No.
Okay. The infographic is not his, but that's who I got it from. It was posted on Reddit. It's through 54 episodes leading into the anniversary episode.
Okay.
How many matches? 54 episodes. How many matches?
I'm assuming, like, total that we've had in Dynamite history?
Yes.
I'm assuming there's about 5 per episode. 500?
5 times 54
250.
285.
Okay, I'm there.
Total match time through 54 episodes is 48 hours, 13 minutes, 18 seconds.
Oh, I thought we were talking about average. Okay, yeah, got it.
Wrestlers featured. From the official roster, we've had 82 wrestlers from the official roster, signed wrestlers.
Yeah.
34 freelancers for 116 total wrestlers.
Can I say something? That's too many.
It's a lot for a 2-hour show.
Like, let's get our guys over first before we put others over, you know?
Average matches per show, 5.28. So
that's about what I expected, yeah.
Average match length, 10 minutes, 10 seconds.
Also about what I would expect.
Average match time, total match time per 2-hour show, about 53 and a half minutes of total match time.
So that wrestling's happening. Okay.
Yes. So here's where we go into some fun stuff. Longest matches. Do you remember the longest match? Kenny Omega versus
Cody?
Pac.
30
minutes, 58 seconds.
Oh, that match was great. Yeah.
30 minutes, 46 seconds, April 15th. John Moxley versus Jake Hager.
That match was very bad. We talked about that on the show. We were not a fan.
Yeah, it was the shit.
This is good to go through though. Like, this is like
fun.
our anniversary stats here.
The third longest match was Kenny Omega versus Sammy Guevara. 23 minutes, 24 seconds.
Why is that one not ringing any bells?
March
you remember
25th.
That one?
Unremarkable in my opinion. I guess not.
Okay.
Shortest match.
Had to be Pineapple Pete and like Jericho, right?
Neither.
Jericho wasn't involved?
MJF was in the shortest match on Dynamite in the first year. 7 seconds. September 10th versus Shawn Dean.
I don't remember.
7
that.
seconds.
Oh, that just happened.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I think I do remember that. Okay.
June 24th, a 12-second match was Hikaru Shida versus Red Velvet.
I do remember that.
And December 11th, John Moxley versus Alex Reynolds went 14 seconds.
You probably just paradigm shift them and then see ya.
Between those 3 matches, we were given 35 seconds.
3
really
matches.
brought the match length down.
Right, okay.
Now, here's a fun thing for me.
Yeah.
Singles matches, they had 170 of them. Team matches in some form, tag team, 4-man, 8-man, 112. Only 3 handicap matches.
I like that.
And that's
a good balance right there.
This is my favorite thing. So out of their 285 matches, right? 285 total matches, 282 of them. That doesn't make sense because the math doesn't add up. 280 had a result.
There'd only be a few no contests.
4 draws.
Well, tell you what, that's a lot
DQ.
less than WWE because Keith Lee, ever since he's been on the main roster, that's all he gets is no contests.
0 countouts. Two of them were stipulation matches.
I think a lot has to do too with the records thing that AEW does. Like they pride themselves on like time limits and records, which is something that makes them unique.
15% of the matches on Dynamite were title matches. They had 42 title matches in their first year.
Do you think that's too much? Giving away title matches for free?
Of the 42, 14 were world title matches. Only 12 of them were TNT title matches.
A lot of people were ripping the fact that last night's one-year anniversary had 4 title matches.
See, but I like that. 1-year anniversary.
I agree. Yeah, they're a brand new company. They can do that.
And I think over the next year, the TNT title percentage skyrockets compared to the world title.
Yeah, we need to stop putting the world title on the line that much because when you see it exposed as much as it has been with Moxley, you know he's not going to lose.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misspoke. Wait, world champion?
Figure it out, man. Come on. I think Twitter is down, by
the
the way.
world title was only defended 7 times. The tag team titles were defended 14 times.
Tag makes sense, though. That's a belt that should be exposed a lot.
14% of the title matches yielded title changes. Only 6 title changes on TV.
That's fair.
2 each between the tag, the women's, and the TNT. The world champion has never changed titles on television.
I thought we were going to get that last night, Tuck. I thought we were.
The top 3 competitors with the most matches on Dynamite are... Give me your top 3.
Cody?
Give me your 3.
I was going to say best friends.
Nope.
I feel like they get a lot of matches. Huh. Okay, so was it Jericho? No, Jericho was kind of used sporadically. Wasn't Moxley. Moxley really didn't have that much going on. Cody's got to be one of them. I wouldn't
Cody
be surprised.
Is the third. There's
I wouldn't be
2 more
surprised
ahead
if
of him.
Darby Allin had a lot.
Nope.
Wow. Is it tag teams or are these just all singles?
It's a tag team.
Oh, Hangman.
And?
Kenny Omega.
31, 28, and 26.
And those are probably the guys you should give the most matches to.
Those 3 also have the most victories on Dynamite. Kenny Omega has 24 victories on Dynamite. Cody, 22.
That's interesting, too, that you said Kenny has the most. A lot of people say he's, like, kind of put in the background.
Or slept on. It's just, no.
No, he's
and
still
then
winning.
Hangman has 19. The most defeats, 14. Santana and Ortiz.
Yeah, they do lose a lot.
Sammy Guevara.
He does.
I don't know who this other guy in the picture is.
It's probably a dark guy.
Jungle Boy has 13.
Yeah, they lose a lot too.
And Private Party, 11 defeats.
Kicking the devil, let's go. Hey.
Yes. So that was the infographic. A lot of I just
like that.
It was cool. It was something to think about. My favorite part is the formats and finishes. Not a lot of no contests.
I like that.
A lot of resolutions.
That's WWE's scapegoat of prolonging things, is doing no contests and stuff. AEW is definitive in what you're going to get at the end. And overall, since we are a year through Dynamite, would you say it has exceeded expectations, underwhelmed, or is it about what you expected?
I would say I expected it to slightly exceed my expectations. I'm not shocked that I've gotten a little bit more than I thought I would. I think their development process through the first year has actually been pretty good.
Their storytelling is getting a lot better, too.
I thought they were going to have a lot more road bumps from a technical standpoint, can they figure it all out and really craft 2-hour stories over the weeks, and they've done a really good job. And they care to get you to watch next week. They tell you early.
What's coming up.
Not a lot of surprises. They spend time building that in the future, and I really appreciate that. If we would have tuned into Dynamite, and at the front of Dynamite, they would have said, there's 4 title matches tonight. We're like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But
now you're texting all your guys, hey, hurry.
I watched it live because there were 4 title matches, and we all were kind of on that same page.
Yeah.
So I think they're doing a great job.
I think what they do well, too, is that they squeeze a lot of side feuds in between segments with video packages, and they build a lot of other feuds that you might not see on TV all the time. Like Sean Spears and Scorpio Sky are kind of having their own thing off camera right now. That's great. MJF and Jericho was squeezed in between all these 4 title matches right there. And I just think even with some backstage interviews, like even having Kip Sabian play video games with Miro is cool. It's a way to expose people. This is what we have. We're going to put them on TV, but we're not always going to put them in a match, you know?
Yep.
So I think AEW has slightly exceeded my expectations. I am more invested into the product than I expected to be. I've always been a WWE first guy, but honestly, it's kind of like a 1A, 1B situation for me. I enjoy watching AEW as much, if not more at times, than WWE. So
yeah, and the thing that's nice, again, we have options as wrestling fans on our television 4 times a week. We have 4 different options: Raw, SmackDown,
and there's even more out there if you get really into it.
Impact is not that hard to find. It's not as it's not hogging the cable space as some of the other ones, but
Kylie Ray and Deonna Purrazzo having a title match coming up at Bound for Glory. That'll be an interesting one. I'm kind of tempted to find a way to watch Bound for Glory because that card is actually pretty good.
Oh, bask in his glory.
No, that song's dead.
Oh, my bad.
But hey, happy anniversary to AEW. 1 year of Dynamite officially in the books, and episode 38 of the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast officially in the books.
Some people thought that AEW wouldn't get this far.
Some people thought the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast wouldn't get this far.
Well, they were stupid.
Yeah, you stupid idiot.
Yeah.
You just made the list.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's all I got.
Thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at PodOnTheMark. PodOnTheMark.
PodOnTheMark.
You can follow me at JimTuck89. You can follow Kyle at TooSweetKyle.
Too sweet.
And we'll see you next. Well, you'll hear us next week. Thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
Thanks for listening to the On the Mark Podcast.
Brock Lesnar going for an F5 to Cena for the championship. Lesnar with the cover.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. For more information and updates, make sure to follow us on Twitter at PodOnTheMark.